Why it's so important to let your kids make mistakes at such a young age? You see, as parents, I know that it's your moral obligation and responsibility to keep your kids unharmed, but that definitely doesn't mean you have to shield them from all possibility of defeat. It just simply means that you have to let them fail safely, because you can only know the sweet taste of victory if you've tasted the bitterness of defeat. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experiences and how my parents let me accept defeat at such a young age that when I grew up, I was not afraid to take risks. You see, risk takers are always winners. You see, the people who are elite, the people who are high up, are the biggest risk takers. And you have to develop your child to let them take risks without fearing loss. When I was in grade 4, I wanted to visit my friend who lived about 15 kilometers away from me. Now, at that point, my dad didn't have a car and he was busy, so he couldn't come in the bus with me. So I was talking to him. I really wanted to go to my friend's birthday party and I wanted to celebrate with him because he was my best friend. So my dad said, "Why don't you go alone?" And my mom suddenly got angry and she said, "He's definitely not going alone." But he calmly explained to her, and I was listening while this was going on. Even if he gets lost at this point, he can just ask anyone for directions and everyone would be able to help him out. You see, this is going to help him in two things. It's going to help him get out of his comfort zone, and even if he makes a mistake, it's going to help him in the future by not making that mistake again. And that's exactly what happened. So when I went on the route, I actually got lost. And I mean, really lost. Instead of going north, I took the south bus and I went all the way across. I was 30 minutes away from where I even started before. So that being said, I was really scared as a little kid. I know, 4 years, I mean, fourth grade, so that's 10 years old. I'm literally shitting my pants. But I got the courage and asked the bus driver, which route should I take to get to my friend's destination, to my friend's house. And the bus driver calmly explained to me, and he actually said, "You know what? Come stand beside me and I'll tell you exactly when to get off." Now, I reached my friend's house, safe and sound, and I went home and I couldn't wait to tell my dad because I was so excited. I was so excited because I was such a fearful kid when I was growing up till that point. I was always scared to talk to people. I was always scared to ask for help. But that day literally changed everything for me. I got so much confidence from just that one little adventure that I was able to express my emotions, I was able to ask questions, and I wasn't afraid to approach adults and ask them for help in the future. So all I'm trying to get here is that you really shouldn't stop your kids from making mistakes, because when they make mistakes, they're actually growing. No one is perfect. Stop trying to make your kids perfect. All you're doing is setting them back, because now you're making them avoid mistakes, which would be crucial to their development. You see, when your kid is younger, the magnitude of making mistakes is so low because there's no consequences. But when we grow up as adults, those tiny mistakes have such big magnitude and such big consequences that you can't go back on them. So it's rather that you let your kids make the mistakes now so they can reap the rewards in the future, because they can learn from those experiences. When your kids are so young, they're all full of desire. They're excited to do things. And when they approach you and ask you, "Hey, can I go out to a friend's place by myself?" And when you say no right away without a proper explanation, it really affects them mentally, because now they think that they're incapable of doing a certain task, which would be associated with that. So let's say they wanted to go to a friend's house by themselves and the friend lived, I don't know, like 5, 10 minutes away. Now, in their head, they're thinking, "Oh my God, my parents are not letting me go because I'm not capable enough." And that reflects amongst their peers as well. Now they're going to be afraid and they're going to be set back and their confidence level is going to drop. So you want to make sure that you build that confidence in your kids at a young age, so when they grow up, they become leaders and not someone who's a yes man. Because the starting point of all achievement is desire. And if you kill that desire at such a young age, you're going to totally annihilate their hunger for trying new things, for taking new risks. So it's important that you keep encouraging. Obviously, don't let them do, really stupid things, but let them take risks in a safe manner. If you think that mistake is going to help them grow into a bigger and better person, Let them make the mistake, because because the more mistakes they make at a young age, the more they're going to learn, the more they're going to develop, and the more confidence they're going to build. You see, my mentor told me one thing, and it's really stuck to me till this day. He said, Dhruv, if someone comes and tells you that they've never made a mistake and they're perfect, they're usually trying to do two things to you. One, they're trying to take your money, and two, they're full of bullshit. So never trust people who say they've never made mistakes, because they haven't learned from experiences. Everyone makes mistakes. It's part of life. It's who we are as humans. Humans are supposed to make mistakes, but then we grow. You see, we can only learn how to walk if we learn how to fall down first. So let your kids fall down numerous times. Because you know what? When we're transitioning from crawling to walking, a lot of babies will fall. But you know what happens? They learn to stand up again and they walk. Even if they fall again, they learn to stand up again and they walk. But a lot of these days, I see parents trying to train their kids to run when they haven't even learned how to fall. Do you see how backwards that is? Guys, you have to have an open mind, because all you're doing to your kids is you're training them to doubt themselves. Doubt creates fear. And if you have fear living inside you, that inner voice that everyone has will always be negative. You see, the rich and successful don't have these inner voices, and when they do, they have the ability to switch it off, because they've developed their mind that no matter what happens, no matter how many mistakes they made, they can take a step forward each time. They learn from their mistakes, and that's how we grow. You see, I want to share these things with you because it will create a better communication bridge between you and your kids. When you start to treat your kids like adults, guess what? They're going to start behaving. You see, when you start to treat your kids like adults, guess what's going to happen? They're going to start behaving like adults. So you want to make sure that you teach them the lesson that their mistakes will always get buried in their results. It's always better to say, I could have done that better, than to say, oh, I wish I even attempted to do it. You see, let them attempt new things, but that can only happen if you give them the confidence at a young age to fail, because failing is a part of life. But a lot of parents, I see, are just not letting their kids do that. All they're trying to do is create these perfect humans who don't make mistakes. Let me ask you this. After turning 20, think of 3 mistakes you've made in your adult life, and I want you to comment them below. And I want you to think back, what if you made those mistakes at an early age? Do you think you'd be a better person right now? Do you think you'd be 10 times better? Do you think you'd be 100 times better? You see, mistakes are a part of life, so stop neglecting them. The more rough and tough your kid is, the more they're going to be able to fight through this game called life. You see, life is not about being perfect. It's about who can keep going after so many setbacks. Because life is not going to be perfect. No matter how hard you train your kids to be perfect, it's never going to happen. They're always going to hit bumps. But you know what happens? That if you've never let them hit any bumps when they're young, when they hit these life bumps when they're older, they won't know what to do. And you know what happens? They'll go into depression and they'll crash mentally. So all I'm trying to say is, let your kids make mistakes. Stop making them perfect and let them experience the joy of life. Let them experience the joy of making mistakes. So raise your kids to be risk takers, not followers. Because like I said, risk takers are always going to be leaders. Now, if you genuinely like this video and you like the content that I'm talking about, then please give this video a like, hit subscribe, and comment below. What are some things that you've experienced? What are some mistakes that you could have went and made at a young age so you didn't have to regret not making them at an old age? Comment below and let me know. Now, I started this channel to bridge the communication gap between parents and their kids who are 20 years old and younger. The thing is, a lot of parents don't understand what their kids are going through, and a lot of kids can't really express to their parents of what they're going through. And I've been there, done that, and I want to be that third voice between you guys. If you're committed to raising a leader, subscribe to this channel and help me grow, help this channel grow, and help this vision grow. I also do have a Facebook group created, and it will be in the description below. And the purpose of the Facebook group is to gather a community of like-minded parents who are determined to have their children grow with a positive, with a fearless mindset, and most importantly, are committed to their well-being of their kids. And if you have any suggestions on what my next video should be, comment below and I'll make sure to reply to and also make a video on that topic.